Few figures in modern history have lived a life as polarizing or as persistent as Donald Trump. A man seen by some as a symbol of success and by others as a source of constant controversy. He has been counted out more than once, written off, criticized, investigated. But that raises a question: how does someone lose everything and still return to power? Because this story isn't just about what happened, it's about how it was played. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York. Far from the luxury image he would later project, Queens was practical, grounded, and deeply connected to working-class life. But inside the Trump household, something else was being built. His father, Fred Trump, had already figured out a system. Using post-World War II housing programs, he scaled rapidly, turning government-backed opportunities into a real... To most people, this was just business. But to Donald, it was a blueprint. He wasn't just seeing buildings go up, he was watching how influence works, how deals are structured, how power is built quietly behind the scenes. And that early exposure would shape how he approached everything that came next. But the foundation wasn't perfect. In the 1970s, the Trump family business faced a federal investigation over allegations of racial discrimination in housing. The case was settled without an admission of guilt. But the damage wasn't legal, it was reputational. And just like that, the Trump name became associated with something beyond business, success, and controversy. A pattern that would repeat again and again. As a child, Trump was energetic, assertive, and often difficult to control. At 13, his parents made a decision that seemed simple at the time. They sent him to the New York Military Academy. It changed everything. Military school was strict, structured, unforgiving. For some, that environment breaks confidence. For Trump, it sharpened it. He thrived in competition, excelled in sports, rose into leadership roles, and more importantly, he learned how to operate inside a system where hierarchy mattered, where perception mattered. By the time he graduated, he wasn't just following orders, he was positioning himself to lead. After high school, Trump briefly attended Fordham University before transferring to the Wharton School. At Wharton, he studied economics. But what stood out wasn't just what he learned, it was what he wanted. Because his father's success wasn't enough. It was stable, profitable, but it wasn't visible. And Donald Trump wanted visibility. He wanted scale. He wanted Manhattan. In 1971, Trump joined the family business and soon took control, later rebranding it as the Trump Organization. And almost immediately, he made a high-risk move. He went where the stakes were higher, where failure would be public, and where success would be impossible to ignore. One of his first major projects was the transformation of the Commodore Hotel into the Grand Hyatt. It wasn't just construction, it was negotiation, tax strategy, political alignment, a deal that many wouldn't even attempt. And it worked. Then came projects like Trump Tower, luxury, glass, gold. But the building itself wasn't the real strategy. The name was. Trump understood something most developers didn't. Attention has value. So he didn't just build properties, he built a persona, media appearances, interviews, bold claims. He made himself part of the product, and slowly, the shift happened. Trump stopped being just a name. It became an image, a signal of wealth, power, success, and then as it started to crack. In the early 1990s, everything changed. The economy slowed, debt piled up, casino ventures struggled, real estate values dropped, and the leverage that once fueled his rise turned against him. At one point, Trump faced billions of dollars in debt. Banks were questioning him. Critics were writing him off. Headlines were turning negative. This should have been the end, but it wasn't. Instead of disappearing, Trump did something unexpected. He stayed visible. He renegotiated deals, restructured debt, bought time. But more importantly, he controlled the narrative. While others saw collapse, he projected confidence. While critics predicted failure, he stayed in the spotlight. And slowly, something shifted. Not the numbers, at least not immediately, but perception. Then came the move that changed everything. In 2004, Trump launched The Apprentice. Millions watched every week. But here's what made it powerful. This wasn't just entertainment, it was image reconstruction. On screen, Trump wasn't struggling, he wasn't negotiating debt, he was in control, decisive, authority-driven. "You're fired." A simple phrase, but it reshaped how Mill. For a new generation, the past didn't matter, the perception did, and the perception was clear. He was successful. In 2015, Trump made another move that seemed unlikely. He announced he was running for president. Most people didn't take it seriously. He had no political experience, no traditional path.
Some people, the ultimate goal in life has been becoming the President of the United States. Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
Most people who are capable are not running for office. Most men are frightened of politics today.
It is a shame, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a shame. The most capable people are not necessarily running for political office, and that is a very sad commentary on the country. They had major corporations and they had this and that, but they are not running for political office.
Why wouldn't someone like yourself run for political office? You have all the money that you possibly need. You've accomplished a great deal, even though you are only 34. I know there's a lot of things that you possibly can do in the years ahead. Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life.
But he had something else. Attention. He knew how to dominate headlines. In 2016, he defeated Hillary Clinton and became the 45th President of the United States.
And distinct privilege to introduce to you the President-elect of the United States of America, Donald Trump.
His presidency broke expectations, tax reforms, deregulation, strict immigration policies, unconventional foreign policy moves, including direct engagement with Kim Jong-un. But alongside those decisions came something else: division, strong support from some, strong opposition from others. And history was made again. He became the first U.S. president to be impeached twice. Then came 2020, and a crisis no leader could ignore: COVID-19. The pressure was global, the response heavily debated, and by the end of that year, he lost the presidency to Joe Biden. For many, that would have been the final chapter, but this story doesn't follow that pattern, because before, he had already been here once, written off, counted out, and then he returned. In a political comeback few expected, Trump regained power. Once again, reactions were divided. Supporters saw resilience, critics saw risk, and the same question remained: is this strategy or something less predictable? From Queens to global power, the story of Donald Trump has never followed a straight line. It moves in cycles: rise, fall, reinvention. And maybe that's the point. Because in a world driven by attention, perception isn't just part of the story, it is the story.